now. There we go. Hyperion against Misfits.
Nice and smooth as we've gone into pick and ban, and instantly Special gets Galio removed away from him. Let's see what Misfits will be answering back here. Hyperion on that blue side and Misfits on the red.
Yeah, it's good to see if they decide to ban away the Varus or other pocket picks, try and clamp down on champion pools. Going to take away the Rise first. Obviously a high priority mid laner, a lot of scaling. That's the thing. Emmy's quite new, coming in recently for Hyperion. They made changes to the roster, brought in Demo and Emmy. So haven't seen a ton of him. And maybe they're just putting a lot of respect because he has had some good games. Don't want it on a hyper carry like Rise.
Well, Skarner's going to get removed away. I do expect to see quite a lot of attention thrown towards mid and jungle here. Zaya gets taken away because Emmy and Demo, I mean, Demo we've had around for a while, but Emmy, a little bit of an unknown. We're not entirely sure what he's able to pick up. Remember, Kassadin had a fantastic game on that one, 5-1. Sion gets banned away. And what do we see as Misfits' last ban?
I mean, they could potentially ban the Olaf because Skarner's been taken away. A lot of people ban Skarner and Olaf at sort of tandems because they're both Predator junglers. Could end up banning away another mid laner. I mean, there's lots of options here. They did ban away the Xayah. The Xayah does block the Xayah Rakan combo just by throwing that one ban. Interesting to see what happens. They do go for the Sejuani, so does leave quite a few junglers up, but maybe they want to bait Hyperion into picking a jungler first. But they're actually going to offer the Tristana. So, I mean, we've said that EU Twisted Fate really confident in that Varus. He also likes his Tristana, and I guess Ezreal's the third tier pick. But they do want to go for a scaling composition, and Tristana allows that. But not just that, it's the safety. Because Varus obviously very immobile, and we saw in their last matchup yesterday, Special just decimated EU Twisted Fate whenever he got on him. So, a lot more safety on this Tristana, but unfortunately, enemy side has picked up Camille and the Azir.
This is the first time you have seen EU Twisted Fate play Tristana since week 1.
Yep.
And that was against XL Esports. He didn't have particularly the strongest game. They got ganked quite early and pretty much camped. So he did struggle. Now Shikari gets his hands on a Camille. We know that Shikari likes to be the carry for Misfits. Well, one of the carries in Misfits. There's just so many carries. But really likes to get his hands on these kind of carry champions and win his lane that way. Orianna and Jana will get locked in by Hyperion.
Yeah, interesting draft. I guess the Jana sort of denies Misfits from picking up a Zac here. I mean, they still potentially can. It just makes it a lot more difficult. I mean, the Camille could still be a flex, so interesting to see what's going to happen here. They do end up opting for the Zac in the end. Nope, they actually shut the Kazakhs. I was wrong. Yeah, Afflict, very aggressive jungler, and I guess the issue of dealing with the Jana means he wants to switch to a more aggro jungler that isn't... I mean, Jana's still good at disengaging the Kazakhs, but we saw the impact that Cadwell made earlier on Kazakhs, and I think Afflict wants to sort of do a similar amount of work, and they will just ban the Zac away themselves. So that's one of the issues with this draft so far from Hyperion, is that they haven't picked a jungler yet. Caitlyn ban comes out, and I think that completely makes sense. High pressure AD carry. And I think along with Xayah is Caitlyn Morgana, as we said earlier, very strong bot lane, as is Xayah Khan. So wanted to deny some of that pressure bot lane so EU Twisted Fate can scale up and be a big threat.
Expect this to be a Varus ban from Hyperion. Deny that from Chris Berg, and then all of these kind of top tier AD carries taken away.
Yeah, would make a lot of sense.
My concern for Misfits comes from the fact that Prosphere now has to kind of pick a tanky support, otherwise there is no frontline for Misfits Academy. Fresh is going to get taken away.
Interesting one, the Thresh. I guess it's a sort of pick that can pressure Tristana because you can flare out a jump. So maybe just not wanting to opt into a situation where they can just get purely outskilled in the 2v2. But, I mean, as you said, leaves the Varus open. I feel like Varus Braum would be a good pickup for Misfits. I mean, they're going to take the Varus now. They can leave the Braum till later. That tends to be a strong lane. Not in the same tier as more Kate and Xayah Rakan, but Varus Braum is a very reliable lane. It's quite weird, this meta, is that normally we see, like, individual picks coming out a lot, but these duo bot lanes have been, like, really prevalent. Like, Varus Braum has been a really strong lane together. Obviously, Varus gets a lot of attack speed, easy to stack up the passive, and provides a lot of peel for him. More Kate synergize as well, Xayah Khan, and I mean, yeah, so it's a good pickup. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw the Braum after. Shen comes out, which, I mean, I think that's a great pick. Exactly what they want to do. They want to scale up, so they need something to facilitate that. And we are actually going to see potentially the Jax if it gets locked in.
Ooh, statement piece from Demo here. I was expecting that to be an Olaf, to be fair. I was like, not going to talk about anything until it gets locked in, but actually going to lock the Jax jungle in. So going to look for a lot of early game pressure. And where is he going to be applying that? Flicked with the hook shots, quite mobile. Depending on what Prosphere picks up here as his support, potentially he could look to camp bot lane, because Varus typically struggles quite heavily with his lack of mobility, and with a Janna and a Tristana and a Jax able to jump on top of you, Chrisberg might feel the pressure here from Demo.
I think it's hard to set up. I mean, Misfits do come out with Braum, which is pretty expected. But, I mean, this is why potentially I could have liked to see the Olaf, but I understand why it didn't come out. Everyone on Misfits side is quite mobile. They all really have dashes apart from the Varus, but the Braum can block the axes to sort of give some cover to Varus. And I think the thought was that Olaf might struggle and it doesn't scale that well. Jax has a bit more scaling. It's something that we did see some prevalence, but sort of fell off a bit, but still a decent pick, especially when so many junglers have been banned away. And I think Hyperion have the tools to get them towards late game. It's just whether they can do it. I mean, the issue is it's not... I mean, the other positions that have been played by Misfits have been very early game focused. And this comp isn't. Yes, it has tools for the early game, but it's not purely early game focused. They have the Azir and the Varus, which scale well. Shikari on this Camille is going to be a split push thrust later on. So that's the issue I find, is that yes, Hyperion can scale to when they're strong, but I don't think they necessarily outscale. Misfits are going to be fine late game as well. And I think because of that, it means Hyperion are going to have to make things work in the early game, particularly with this Shen. The Shen'll is their sort of win condition, and they need to play around that.
I do feel like Hyperion are really just going to have to try hard this game. This is one of the hardest games they're going to have to play, all of Prem versus Misfits. And they lost this very game yesterday. But now it's a fresh start, clean slate. And Hyperion, if they can pull a miracle out of the bag, not only do they save their chances in Group A, they also save Excel's chances in Group A as well. So Misfits, a lot on the line for them, but also Hyperion, you could argue there's a lot on the line for all of Group A if Hyperion can make this work, but it's an uphill struggle. There's a reason that Misfits Academy sit at the top of Group A. Only one time have they gone down, and that was to Enclave. As we load through onto the Summoner's Rift, Hyperion on the blue side, Misfits Academy on the red. For one last time, guys, let us know in the Twitch chat who you think will win. Will it be Hyperion or will it be Misfits?
Yeah, and I think the huge thing to watch here is what the junglers do. Demo versus Afflict. How do they make the early game work for them? And we have actually seen a disconnect, so yep, we're going to get a pause there. Actually going to keep it in the pause screen just so you can have a view of sort of starting items and keystones, as obviously pause screen doesn't really, I mean, going into our break screen doesn't really allow for that. Not going to see anything too outlandish here, pretty standard keystones coming out. Press the attack, understandably on Jax is the right sort of thing to take in, but not something we see too often from junglers, as a lot don't benefit it, but an auto attack based jungler is Jax. And also quite tanky. I mean, that's the thing, is that, yes, they have the Braum now, Misfits, but they don't have a massive tanky front line. They have these sort of bruiser champions, and, I mean, Kha'Zix is an assassin. So if they get later in the game, Ori and Trish can put out a lot of damage and might just be able to blow through these squishier champions on the side of Misfits.
Now, is the Invasion actually running the stopwatch? Been a little while since I've seen anyone pick that up.
Yeah, I think nerfed heavily, so not taking as much, but I understand the thought process here. Going the secondary inspiration tree is fairly standard on Janna for the reduced cooldown, and I think stopwatch is a good option for her because you know how Misfits like to play. In fact, we saw last game, they made a play towards bot lane where they dived them. I mean, obviously had the Galio there, but that happened after 10 minutes. They sort of left it for a while, and then they found the window and went for it, and now this is the sort of thing that can save you. Having the stopwatch might keep you alive through that. One issue is, though, haven't seen any minion dematerializers on the side of Hyperion, so if a Baroned minion comes up, don't have that great of an option to deal with it.
Could spell the doom for Hyperion, but What this does say to me with the commencing stopwatch is we're either going to see Misfits look for a play earlier on in the game into Janna, or they just go and attack the Shen, Dan XD, on the top side of the map and just get rid of the global, because there's lots of defensive tools if Hyperion do get dove in the mid or the bot lane, especially if Shen hits level 6. So Misfits Academy definitely want to start rolling early before these ultimates come through, before Demo really is feeling overly confident. And I'm curious to see actually what he's going to pick up on the Jax, whether he goes for this kind of attack speed build or if he goes for the more tanky build where you see the Hulk into the Titanic. Quite a few options to him, and it will probably be very dependent on how he plays the early. If he gets insanely fed, he might go into that Gunblade attack speed build, but if he feels like it's a little bit slower paced, he wants to have some kind of scaling, it could be that tank build.
Absolutely. And yeah, and I think that's the thing, is you're going to be tankier later on, but in the early game can be quite good for the Jax to I mean, Jax is decent at sort of dueling early on, especially if he picks up the Skirmish Saber, but Kha'Zix's a lot of threat, especially when he hits his level 6 and gets his camouflage upgrade.
Well, he's the Grand Jeweler.
Yep, very true, it's in his name.
It's what he's built to do, is 1v1 people, and afflict on the Kha'Zix. Also a champion who wants to be taking these 1v1s as much as possible. Both of these junglers extremely aggressive picks. I'm very, very excited to actually see how this works out. But for now, it's going to be a bit more of a quieter start, as the team really has a massive early game spike. Need a little bit of time to get these kind of carries rolling, a couple of items under their belt.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what you need. You sort of want to get the late stages of the game. You want to get like 3 items on the Tristana before she's a massive threat. That's what you're playing towards as Hyperion. But that's the thing, you can't just sit about early game and do nothing, because you know Misfits are going to make plays. You know they're going to try and get a big lead.
And the options on Hyperion, whether or not they want to play aggressive in turn, or if they just want to sit back, play a little bit more passively, and wait for their spikes to come through, wait for Dan XD to get the stand united, to make sure he can keep the carries alive. And a lot of that will all come off the back of Demo, how Demo plays. If he goes aggressive, then that's kind of your answer there. If he just sits back and farms, then that's also going to tell you that Hyperion definitely want to play a safer game. Misfits definitely going to want to get rolling early in this particular game. Plays a true Misfits style, hard and fast, try and win really, really quick.
Well, their new style, I would say, because, I mean, originally in the split it wasn't something they did more so, but these past 2 games have had very aggressive early games. But something they had then, which they don't have here, was the Galio pick. And I think that's one of the issues, is that Afflict likes to play very aggressive, but that was fine when he had a Galio ready to ult in to protect him, but here he doesn't. So if he goes a bit too aggressive, he can be punished. And there was a game earlier in the split where, although Misfits won it, Afflict's over-aggression got punished. I think you might remember that one where he went 1-7 on Rengar.
I do remember
Not
that.
the greatest performance individually, but Misfits still managed to win out. But if this happens here, that could facilitate Hyperion to come out ahead.
Although I do feel that was a bit of an off game by Afflict. I think he's kind of sorted his form out back when he went under Bimbo for 1 game. He pulled the Rengar out and he really popped off on it. So I think he's 2-1 so far on Rengar. So his track record does speak for him, as we're seeing a little bit of a trade coming through. Demo's coming out as well. Knockup connected as Demo could go for the leap strike. Does force Prosphere to flash away. Good opening from Hyperion. Early and aggressive start. Yeah,
they've been the flash from Braum. Misfits being a bit over-aggressive when they didn't have the vision. I mean, I guess there was the opportunity for Demo to flash to look for Crispig's flash, but prefers to keep his Summoner spell up. And I mean, they get 1 for 0 and some, so I think they're going to be happy. But Dan really struggled in this matchup top lane. I think Camille has an advantage here because with the Comet and WMAX can just shove excessively. But a lot of trading power coming out.
A lot indeed. Now, if we do have a little look at Hyperion as a team, since switching out their roster and having a little bit of a shuffle around, they are looking a little better. Against Misfits yesterday, their team fighting mid-game was actually very impressive. And they do look a little bit more reformed and a little bit more revitalized. Going in onto Dan, Taunt comes down and Shikari able to help pick it up. Takes a couple of tower shots, but he will be A-okay and able to walk away.
Did flash out at the end to survive from the tower, but they got the kill, and that's what you need. Great aggression from Misfits Afflict. to get that top lane kill. And this is what happens when Dan struggles in that matchup, falls behind, and he gets punished for it. Now both top laners are going to trade TP. Shikari wanted to keep the pressure up, and this is how you want to play against a Shen.
Ooh, Demo's found out Misfits though, looking to get himself the counter-strike down, and the stun's there. Afflict is forced to leap over the wall to safety, but now Shikari's coming through. Remember, the Protocol is able to get quite a lot of damage. Now we're seeing a special come through for the chase. Demo's forced to flash in, and he's there with the shields on the ball. Make sure Demo gets away, but now Dan XD also hanging about. Some action happening around this Rift Herald pit.
I mean, it was a good aggressive play from Demo, but I feel like maybe he could have committed to flash over the wall to finish Afflict, didn't chase him, and then ends up getting punished by the rest of the team. I guess it's one of those situations, it's hard to go too aggressive because you know the rest of Misfits is going to be there eventually. But I think it might have been able to buy him some time if you did go for that aggressive kill. But
I think it was a respect play coming through from
yeah,
Demo. No,
I agree.
He probably could have killed Afflict, but let's say Afflict managed to get out. Suddenly you've got special on you.
He would have definitely died, yeah.
Away towards his team, he was able to get out with just burning a flash. So flash was burned either way, and I think maybe Demo just playing a little bit respectful, knowing how much is on the line. Doesn't want to over-greed. Know that a playoff spot is dependent on if he can actually get this win.
I mean, that's the thing, because we said earlier, Hyperion do like to scale later in the game. Going aggressive there, maybe not the best course. I think once Dan XD gets his ult up, that's when you want to start looking for players like that. You flash in, you have the channel, and that means you can go more aggressive. And that's the difference, is that Afflict doesn't have that backup anymore. His team can move, as you saw there, but there's no Galley ult to come down globally. And that can facilitate Demo to be aggressive and maybe win this jungle matchup.
Well, Stan United is now available to Dan XD on the Shen, so he will be able to make these plays across the map. And this is where it gets exciting, Orcs. This is where the plays can start to come through from Hyperion, and last couple of games has really shown up that they are a good mid-game team fighting comp. They need... comp team. They have a good mid-game team fight as well available, so I wasn't completely wrong there.
Yep, true.
They definitely need to pressure this in the mid-game if they want to take this win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficulty, is that obviously Shikari's doing a great job staying across the top lane here, which you need to be, because if the Shen isn't pressured, all your other lanes are going to struggle. And that's why I love the Shen pick, is that you have a composition who wants to hit the late game, but the Shen can facilitate it. Because I think the best way to do well on a late game composition is to win early game, because, I mean, then you're golden.
Well, Dan XD just getting himself a base off. Has got no teleport available to him, but the Stan United is there if a play is to break out on the other side of the map. Shikari does not have teleport either to match. And that's pretty big. If we do have a little look at the vision at the moment, Misfits definitely starting to prioritize keeping Shikari safe. Got that arc of wards going deep into the blue side of Hyperion, where vision control in the bot lane is a little bit questionable from them. But Hyperion don't have any wards on the map at all at the moment.
Yeah, and we're seeing 0 vision score coming out from both. Actually, I think that must be bugged, because I'm pretty sure Oriana just placed a ward and the vision score didn't go up, so maybe a bit of a bug there. But still, we're seeing great vision from the side of Misfits, getting some good pink wards into this top side of the map, and that means they're looking to pressure this blue buff which has just spawned.
It's a delayed vision score.
Right,
we
okay.
do see Emmy get it, so it's marginally delayed, but he was on 0 vision score prior to that. Now we're seeing an engage come through onto Demo, but the Stan United is there. Lands a stun, looking for the taunt. Gonna connect it down, but the Hextech ultimatum pins him in. Demo falls down. That's another onto Afflict, and now Dan XD is forced to run away as he's trying to turn it onto Shikari, who gets the hook shot down. Demo with a flash forward, manages to answer back, and now he's looking for Afflict, but Afflict is able to get himself 3 kills total.
Great play, and now Afflict is in a good position. He can pick up this blue. He's extremely fed, and the key thing is they burnt the channel. So all that pressure from the channel is now off the map until the cooldown's up. And you can see bot lane going aggressive now off it.
David Corruption, Glacial Fish is thrown down. He Twisted is forced out, but the heal comes down from the Monsoon, and Twisted Fate is able to walk away. Chrisberg blinking Hellfire though.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the power of a Tristana, able to throw so much damage back. But, you know, good aggression from Misfits, and it shows how they read the game. They know the Shen ult's down, he's off the map, they can go aggressive now. And yes, they don't manage to get the kills, but this is what I like to see from a composition who we said wants to get ahead early.
So that ulti is about 2 minutes away from Dan XD, but he does have the teleport available. So if a play does break out, at least he can teleport in. The same can be said for Shikari now, who has a teleport to match. We're seeing Emmy actually really start to struggle versus Special on the Azir. Every time the camera goes down into mid, we see a lot of just blinking health bars as the Flick's looking for a play onto Deja, able to pick it up. 4 kills on the Kha'Zix. And this is looking scary.
Yeah, this is a problem when you're dealing with the Fed. Kha'Zix has his Moby Boots and Completed Warrior, so not only tons of damage, but anytime he walks into a brush, he goes invisible, gets that extra movement speed, and with the Moby Boots, it's so easy to get in and make plays.
And actually taking a bit of a trade versus Shikari does turn it a little bit back in his favor with that Grasp of the Undying, but with a play coming through from a Flick, the map is starting to look a little bit more open for Misfits as they're pressuring down the bot lane tier 1, and it looks like first turret blood will go over to Misfits Academy, accelerating the gold lead. Almost 4K.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want to do. Now you're in a situation where Hyperion, they have options. I mean, they either match, which is what they'll usually do, or if they want to keep their bot lane bot, I mean, and most likely they'll shove this lane out and swap towards top. But the issue is Shen's now going to be in a long lane against this Camille and Kha'Zix. Camille can easily lock you in with the ultimate, and Kha'Zix has the damage to take you out. Not the situation you want to be in. And it just means that, I mean, this extra gold's huge. Chris Big unfortunately wasn't able to finish out his Ginsu's Rage Blade, but does pick up the Ninja Tabi, so going to be hard to punish him right now.
Well, Mountain Drake was also picked up by Misfits Academy. Infernal is next to spawn as well, so good selection of Drakes on the plate. And Hyperion, if they can get a grasp on this game, by the time that Infernal Drake's up, that will be a good opening for them as well. It's not over yet. We've seen Hyperion team fight with larger deficits. But yeah, I'm just so concerned about Emmy. He's got a Tear the Goddess and a Lost Chapter. His damage is just not going to spike for a while. As Demo lands the stun down to a Flick, who's actually really low. Ignite goes down. Demo flashes over the wall and gets a shutdown.
Great play from Demo. He finds a Flick, and even though he's so far behind him, he punishes him and gets his shutdown gold. And this is what you need. A Flick just didn't expect that to happen.
He's actually going mid as well, looking for Special at the moment, but the camera's focusing on Dan versus Shikari for the moment. They're just going to walk away, but did look to go into Special. Special was able to shuffle and dodge his way out, though. Oh, that's a long hook shot. Now, Emmy needs to be careful, as Special is just going to lay out a lot of damage onto him.
We are seeing Jackson coming bot lane. I'm going to switch over to that fight.
Demo's there. Forces Shikari to hookshot away. Still holding on to that flat and that teleport for the moment. Chris Berg and Prospere looking pretty dominant in this bot lane, although they have switched into the Australia lanes for the moment. And Twisted just looking to clear these waves out.
Yeah, and Afflict is now here, and Jax is on the wrong side of the map, so no one to help them out. That is the issue with going for a gank. True. It's the issue that we're going with a gank bot lane that doesn't quite work, is you're now not there to assist your bot lane, and Eutris is going to try and force Afflict off, but they're going to have to give up this tower.
Demo looking to get himself on. Stan United's actually being used onto Demo. They land the stun on Shikari. He throws down the Hextech ultimatum, looking for the ultimate as the hookshot comes through. 3 members chasing Shikari down. Does cost Hyperion the turret in the top side, and Shikari is about to get his hookshot back. He gets out scot-free.
Didn't even have to use his flash. Great play from Shikari, and the thing is, once again, they burn this channel. And for nothing. Weren't able to get anything there. Oh,
taunt stun comes down. Flash is actually failed by Shikari. A Special is going to get ulted out, and Shikari is still able to escape with a hook shot, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe a bit over-aggressive from Shikari to stay that long, but the rest of Misfits not only picks up the Rift Herald, but are now looking to get this mid tower, and the vision control is just excellent. Completely controlling all the area around him.
Ooh, Afflict just deletes Dejan on the Kha'Zix, and that's another turret falling down. All of the tier 1s are now out of the question, and Misfits looking to push this vision up even more aggressively. As Twisted actually gets shuffled back, looks to go in for the all-in as the Glacial Fisher knocks him up, and he's just going to pop Special back, but it's not enough. A Special able to pick up his first kill.
Over-aggression from me, Twisted Fate. Thought he could get a pick onto Special, wasn't aware Crossfire was still there, and just trying to force a bit too hard. Dejan really unfortunate. I mean, I feel like that was a bit of a brain fart there. The vision control was there from Afflict and the rest of Misfits. They were taking the tower. I think you just have to accept that and give it up. And give up the vision control. And instead he tries to get a ward down and ends up running into this extremely fed Kha'Zix. And gets one shot.
Now, can we talk vision score at the moment? 6 wards placed and cleared total by DanXD to the 14 of Shikari. Just so much more vision control coming through from Misfits, and the numbers are really starting to show it.
Yeah, and I think that's just sort of how Shikari's been playing. He knows he wants to split push and put pressure. Every time he's recalled, it seems he's picked up a pink ward, and he's using that just to facilitate his play. And that's why, for a large amount of time, he was aware of Demo's presence when he was trying to play towards bot side.
Now, with all of these tier 1s drop down as well, it means we are going to see this vision line start to shove up, and this Infernal Drake will be even easier for Misfits Academy to take down. Yeah, Hyperion, what can they do?
I mean, they have a minute. I think what they're trying to do is go for an aggressive play onto Shikari, but then, because this isn't what you expect. You know the next objective is Drake.
Oh, pink wall comes down, knock off to follow, and now Shikari forced to use the Hextech ultimatum onto Dacian, has the hookshot to get over the wall, but he is ignited down as Demo's chasing him out, doesn't quite have flash, and Shikari once again escapes!
Yeah, I'm going to say a bit of a misplay from Hyperion. Dacian could have ulted Shikari back, opted not to, and then just used his ult later on. And I think the issue with that is, if you're committing to this play, you have to make it work, because they lost another bot tower, and now they have no control over the dragon area. I understand the play to go for the cheesy pick, but
looks like Afflict's forced to hop over the wall to escape away from Demo and Emmy at the moment, but now he's got the backup of the rest of the team. They could look for a pick. Inhibitor turret didn't take too much damage as Rift Herald was dropped a little bit lower, but they're starting to pressure out the tier 2 in mid as DanXD with 0 magic resist just gets chunked down by Special. And look at this, it's 17 minutes on the clock and he is starting to lay out the hurt.
And at this point, you have to ask yourself, how are Hyperion ever going to be able to contest this Infernal Drake when they're shoved in so deep? And this is what happened. They made that aggressive play top. The concept was good, the execution was not, and as a result, they get punished on the bot side of the map because they didn't get this kill onto Shikari, and now they lose all this control, they lose the tower, and they're losing this Infernal Drake. And it just looks dire for them at this point.
Absolutely dire. Infernal Drake comes through as well. Misfits accelerate their lead even further. Hyperion now trying to get some kind of vision control back on their side of the jungle, but they just don't have enough to clear out all of the wards. And there's still plenty of wards coming down from Misfits Academy in that bot side, even with a couple being cleared out. Looking very, very hard for Hyperion, and they're now probably thinking about Sunday's game and what they're going to be able to do to actually secure themselves a seat in playoffs. And Misfits, very, very confident right now. I mean, if you're an XL fan, you're watching this game with bated breath.
Yeah, hoping that Misfits managed to throw it here. Afflict going for a play.
Ooh, good knockup comes through.
Yeah, good defensive play from Dacian, but the issue is there's so little vision control around this Baron area, and it's now coming up in the next minute. You can see Shikari's swapped to the bot lane. They know the Baron's next priority. And with a Mountain Drake, an Infernal Drake, and a composition like theirs, they take it so fast. Kha'Zix, one of the fastest junglers to do Baron with the isolated Q damage. Azir, so much sustained DPS, as does an on-hit Varus. So if they get some free time on that Baron, they will absolutely shred through it.
They will make that worm look like a little grub if they can get their hands on it, if they can get the time to do. The pings are coming down from Misfits already, and look at the vision. Once again, there is just nothing from Hyperion. Flipped clears out the one ward that was already blocked by Pink anyway.
Yeah,
just placing more and more vision down.
You can see on the minimap I've just shown, this is what Hyperion will be seeing. Basically nothing towards the Baron pit. But they do have a ward in this brush, which Misfits are deciding to camp in. That's the only ward they need.
Misfits try to camp inside, Hyperion have a ward in. I would say unlucky, but I think they're feeling very confident. Remember, they've also got a Mountain Drake and Infernal Drake as well, so they have additional damage they can lay onto this Nasher when it spawns. It's now live, and we're seeing 3 members starting to work their way towards it. DanXD getting all in by Shikari. Shikari's making sure his health's nice and low, so he can't stand United into a fight. Though XD trades relatively even with him for the moment, as Demo now walking forward, trying to clear out as much vision as humanly possible.
Afflict might be looking for an aggressive play, but
Demo gets Chains of Corruption up. He's starting to feel the hurt as good Glacial Fissure comes down onto Demo. Great Monsoon to boot though as Afflict is forced away. Needs to go in as we see a dive come out. There's going to be the shuffle backwards. Shockwave lands onto absolutely nothing, and Emmy is just obliterated on the back end of the fight. Now Shikari with a hook shot onto Twisted with the sweeping strike, able to pick up a second kill for Misfits Academy, and they can turn towards Baron Nashor.
yeah, sick interrupt from Shikari in the end just to catch out EU Twisted Fate. He did go very aggressive to try and punish Afflict. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the damage to finish him out. Not sure how Emmy found himself to be so deep behind Misfits. But in the end, 2 down. Very quick Baron over to Misfits, and this is exactly what they need to just snowball this game.
They just killed Baron super fast. That was 21 minutes in. That felt like a lot later on into the game. Wits End, Rageblade finished up. Tiamat coming through for Shikari along with that Triforce and building towards that Ravenous Hydra. It's looking dire for Hyperion, and I think I've said that about 4 times this game, but it's the only way I can talk about it. It's the only way I can describe Hyperion's current situation versus Misfits Academy, and it's not entirely unexpected, as Misfits are obviously one of the higher placed teams. Now Demo looking for a play onto Shikari once again. Stun comes down, hook shots there. Shikari is able just to escape once again. Demo's placing a lot of attention onto him and not gaining anything with it.
Yeah, and this is the issue, is that Shikari's played so well just to consistently escape away from these ganks. Only once had to actually burn a summoner and hasn't really died in any of these situations. Just managed to keep relatively safe as a split push, and I think that just shows the level that Shikari's playing at. Not just good in a 1v1, not just good in a split push, but good at keeping alive. And I think comparable to only Angel in the game earlier today, who died a lot whenever he got pressured. And Shikari doing well to stay alive.
And now you're seeing these minion dematerializers really starting to be needed by Hyperion as the Baroned up, bannered up and Baroned up. Cannon minion was able to do a lot of damage onto the turret. 1 minute 20 till the second Infernal spawns as well. This is perfect for Misfits, and we've had some really aggressive Drakes today.
Yeah, absolutely. The Drakes have been... I mean, we've... Oh, Shikari's going to get the spot tower.
There's just turrets going down everywhere. Chains of Corruption come through. Monsoon's there. The 2-man Shockwave just does no damage as Emmy is deleted by Afflict, and now EU Twisted Fate forced to hop away. And this will be Inhibitor in the mid lane, falling down at 23 minutes. And it looks like Misfits Academy looking to play League of Legends by the books here. Take down the Inhibitor in the bot lane as well. And with the Baron buff still on for about 3 more waves, we could see a potential end come through. Remember, the death timers are a little bit low though, so needs to be a little bit careful. But
yeah, Misfits going to play it by the book and head towards the top lane, get all 3 inhibitors. I mean, to me, I don't think the Dragons have mattered massively. Yes, they've been very great for early game teams, but these teams that we've seen today have dominated from the get-go. And I think this shows how the stronger teams have adapted to this 8.4 meta going onwards, where Baron and Dragon, Elder Dragon, are much more impactful objectives. And so Misfits have made this transition to a more early game focus, as have XL. Wind and Rain already had that style of play, but have just perfected it, I would say. And all these teams, I mean, Diabolos as well, all these sort of top 4 teams are looking to establish themselves as being dominant, they've been crushing the early game, and we've had very short games tonight. And I mean, yes, the Dragons have been great for them, these Infernals have been great, but it just feels like they've been in complete control, irrespective of whether they get Infernals or not.
And it's been very different from the games we had 2 weeks ago, where all of the games were very slow placed, all very methodical. And Hyperion, I thought maybe we're going to look for something, but they were standing on top of a ward, and now they've just got their work cut out for them. The Banner of Command is even going to get used out by Prosphere now onto a Cannon minion. And there are supers, banner minions, everything pushing up in favor of Misfits with their double Infernal and Mountain Drake. Structures will fall very, very fast to this comp here. And I think we're going to be about 1 fight away from the end here. Dan gets engaged on Spirit's Refuge, won't buy him too much, and the pause has come through.
Yeah, interesting pause. Maybe Dan had some internet issues there. I mean, I can only guess that might be why the pause. Normally, in a competitive play, try our best not to pause during combat, because obviously kind of throws up the disruption. But, you know, if someone DCs are having an issue, that might be the only case we can sort of have. Hopefully this will be sorted out very swiftly. But, I mean, irrespective of the pause, difficult to see how Hyperion are going to be able to stop this push. I think they have to look for a fight as soon as possible. Going back into it.
And get engaged on. Corruption comes down. That's going to be one as Demo's engaged onto Chris Berg. Instantly deleted. Now Shikari manages to answer back, and it's 3, 4, none. Misfits taking down the turrets. They've managed to get one. Now the Nexus is laid bare. And at 25 minutes, Misfits Academy show up one more time and will be able to secure themselves their first place. Not an ultimate. But with that, Misfits are able to secure themselves their first place in Group A.
Yeah, great play from Misfits. And, I mean, Hyperion, obviously a team at the bottom of the rankings who are struggling, but this isn't about that. It's about Misfits establishing that they are a top team, and they are.